Hey everybody, I'm Den Haring and welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365, and welcome back to Topwater Tuesday. So today we're going to be talking about one that you're going to want to hear about because not a lot of people know about this bait. It's the Huddleston Weedless Shad. Okay, so Huddleston has made this shad for quite some time now. It's a pre-rigged weedless shad. The hook is in the dorsal fin. They come with a really sharp hook and a weighted system in the shad. And you might be thinking, well, how is that a topwater bait? It's weighted, and so it's true. It does sink. And it has a really cool action when it sinks. It has this motion where it wiggles like this as it's sinking. And it's got this tail that gives it a swimming action. And it looks very much like a shad or an alewife. It's got the perfect body shape for all of that. But the way I like to fish it as a topwater is to throw it primarily in lily pads, in lily pad fields. This thing is a killer in that situation. You throw it out there and you just let it fall on the pads and you just swim it along the top of the pads, and then when it falls through you just let it sit in the water a little bit and then you swim it to the next pad. You just basically bring it through the pads, and when it comes through the water, if the fish see it, oftentimes they'll come up and they'll just smash it. I mean, I've had some of the most aggressive hits on this bait in the pads over the years. So I really like this bait. The one thing I do wish is that they would make it about an inch bigger, like a 5-inch version instead of this 4-inch version. I think that would make it even more enticing for larger fish. But I catch plenty of good fish on this size, especially in fairly clear water where they can get a good look at it. The other place this shines is over milfoil beds. You can run this, you can throw this out there and run it along the surface and wake it like a wake bait, and that tail will kick and catch fish that way. But primarily, for topwater, I really like it for pad fishing. It's also a very good bait under the water. It's a great bait to skip under docks and let sink under docks. Works very well that way too. I like this particular color. It's like a green silver color. It's got dark green back, silver sides, real natural looking. If you have golden shiners in your systems where you fish, it's really hard to beat this golden shiner color. Pull this one out here for you. Look at that, just like a golden shiner. Really, really nice bait. You can see the tail is, it's got that soft plastic, and it's anatomically correct. I mean, it's got dorsal fin, it's got the little pectoral fins, the eyes, the dot. Just a very well-made bait. And I've been catching fish on them for years. In fact, I did another video where this was part of the video. I think the video was called The 5 Best Lures You Never Heard Of, and this was one of them because not a lot of people know about this bait, not a lot of people fish it. If I find that video, I done it years ago, I'll put a link to the video up here so you can take a look at it. Actually, it'll be up here. And so you can look at that as well and learn how to fish this thing a number of other ways if you're interested. But being that it's Topwater Tuesday, the focus here is throw this in the pads, swim it through, and I guarantee you, if you throw this enough, you're going to catch fish on it because it's just so natural in the water. You know, when I'm fishing heavy cover like pads, I'll just put straight braid onto this bait, just tie it to straight braid, and fish it that way when I'm fishing surface and heavy cover. But if the pads are thin or if they're broken up, where you have some open water and then pads and some more open water, I might use a mono leader, something like a 17 to 20 pound test mono leader on 50 pound braid or even 20 pound braid depending on the situation. So that's the line that I use. And then the rod, this is a pretty heavy bait. It's got a weight inside it. It's not too light, it's not terribly heavy, but you can throw it a good ways on standard gear. So the rod that I like to throw this on is the same rod that I'll throw horny toads on, which for me is a Dobbins Fury rod. It's a horny toad rod. It's 7 foot long, medium heavy action, and so that gives you the backbone you need to get the bass out of those pads once you hook them up. And then the reel I like to use a gear ratio of 7.5 or more to 7.5 to 8.5 to 1, in that range. That way, if a fish hits it and swims towards you, you can catch up to him quickly. It just is an easy way to fish the bait. You don't have to overwork to get the bait through the pads with a reel like that. The reel that I generally use for this kind of fishing is a Bass Pro Shops Carbon Light 2.0. And that's a reasonable reel. I found it to be very reliable. It's got a really good drag on it. and you can get it at different speeds, and I think the speed I generally use is 8.3 to 1 or 7.5 to 1, in that range. Both of those would be fine. I mean, just look at this thing. It looks real, and it looks real in the water too. Just one other quick thing about this bait. When my daughter was several years ago, when she was just in her young teens, she spent a whole summer just fishing nothing but this lure, a whole year. This is what she threw. And oftentimes she'd outfish my brother and my dad and I just with this lure. And a couple times she went out, we'd walk out on a boat dock somewhere, and she'd just drop this lure under the dock, catch a big smallmouth or a big largemouth. One time we were at a pond, she throws it out from the middle, 5.5-pound largemouth. I mean, she just tore the fish up on this bait one summer everywhere we went. So it's a testament to how effective this bait could really be. Well, that's it for Topwater Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of it, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about the channel. Share the videos with them if you would. We're all about the art and science of fishing, especially bass fishing. And until next time, may God bless your fishing endeavors.